provided by other residents who knew Caroline. These residents, as long as, and in addition to that, Caroline's parents, John and Jean Meister, described Caroline as a very experienced and avid hiker who was very familiar with the area. There's a saying, in the wilderness, danger and beauty coexist in a delicate balance. Today at approximately 10:45 a.m., search and rescues were performing what they call a high-angle search and rescue at a waterfall that crosses over the cutoff trail. A high-angle rescue is one where they have to rappel down into the area in order to search it. As crews reached the bottom of the waterfall, unfortunately, they located Caroline. Searchers were able to confirm that she was deceased. I want to let the community know that Caroline's mother has been notified, as well as her friends at the Zen Center, and also John, Caroline's father. This is now a coroner's case, but I did talk to Caroline's mother earlier today, and she wanted to express her gratitude to the Monterey County Sheriff's, the search and rescue, and the many volunteers that helped search for Caroline to bring her home to her family. She wanted to let them know that her and her husband and their family are sending out love and prayers to all those who assisted in helping bring Caroline home to them. This investigation is now a coroner's case. A forensic exam will be performed to determine the exact cause of death. And I'd like to now introduce, representing the Monterey County Sheriff's Search and Rescue Team today, Deputy Carlos Pena. Carlos was involved in search and rescue from the beginning, and he was one of the search and rescue teams that discovered Caroline when they did that high angle rappel down to the bottom of the canyon. So if you have any questions, please available. Questions?
Yeah, so when you guys, were you guys kind of given a clue of to where she might have been at this waterfall here? I know it must have been, of course, a long search, searching far and wide. What kind of gave you guys the clue that this is probably where she might be at?
So upon searching, like you said, it was a vast area that we had to cover. What helps us with this kind of investigation is clues. We need clues that will draw us into a specific area, so that way we can really focus our search efforts there. In this case, the residents at the Zen Center were extremely helpful. She had made a comment of the horse pasture trail. However, it was undetermined if that was the actual trail that she meant. So based off of that fact, our investigations led us to that trail. We searched it heavily, and as a result, that's what had happened. That fall was one of the critical incidents of that trail, as far as it being a danger. So that was notated early on in our investigation.
And what's the name of this particular waterfall?
I don't know the particular name of it, but it is off of the horse pasture trail that turns into the cutoff trail. It does bleed over into the Tassajara Creek. Yes.
And at this, and at this time, I know it's a coroner's case now, but from what you guys saw, what could you determine from what you saw, what might have been the cause of death?
So at this point, we don't, based on the physical evidence, we don't think any foul play was involved. We think that it was accidental, but that's what we think. And obviously, after the forensic pathologist, examines Caroline, we'll make some type of determination. One of the things I wanted to add when they talk about during search and rescue operations, they covered a very broad area. And so we had a lot of teams out there, they search the area, and then they start trying to pinpoint it based on reports from witnesses or people who may have talked to Caroline before that. Thank you to the media for putting that information out and asking for people to come forward. Based on that information, after we do searches, because we've given you a list with all the agencies that were involved, So we did searches on the ground, in the air, using dogs, using trained volunteers. Once we do this general search of the area, then they start looking at what they call critical sites, right?
Critical sites, hazards.
And critical sites are those areas that search and rescue, trained search and rescue teams know that may cause an accident. You know, our trails are very steep in our area. They can be dangerous in some areas, and even experienced hikers could have slip and falls. In this case, the crossover area presented for the search and rescue teams an area where it could be somebody would slip more likely than not.
What injuries did she have?
Again, it's injuries consistent with, you know, falling down a cliff. And again, we're gonna wait until after the coroner's investigation to determine the cause of death. Again, we do not suspect foul play.
I know it's probably a coroner's determination, but is there any indication of time of death?
No, not at this point. Any other questions? Again, on behalf of John and Caroline, they just, I'm sorry, on behalf, I hate endings like this, obviously. On behalf of Gina and John, again, I want to express their prayers and thanks to the hundreds of volunteers that helped bring Caroline home. With that, I'm going to turn it back over to Commander Rosas.
To follow the sheriff's comments, we have received offers of assistance from across the United States and the Sioux City. This attracted a lot of attention from very, very, very many people. We were unable to get back to everyone's offers for help, the emails, the phone calls, and we express our thanks, our gratitude for these offers of assistance from people across the United States. It is very, very sad to have to announce this tragic ending today, but we do wish to thank everyone who offered their help, and also thank our many agencies that assisted us, as well as the American Red Cross in helping us during our search efforts. There is a list provided for the media. I will briefly read this off. The Monterey County Sheriff's Office Search and Rescue Team, of course, was the lead agency, along with rescue teams from Solano County, Santa Clara County, the Bay Area Mountain Rescue, Marin County, Contra Costa County, Napa County. We had our Monterey County Sheriff's Office drone team, the California Highway Patrol Air Unit, CARDA K-9 Unit, Ferris Heat Sensing Aircraft Military Unit, the California Office of Emergency Services. There was a U.S. Army aircraft involved, CAL FIRE Air Support, and again, the assistance from the American Red Cross. We continue to ask people, for those that were asking how they could help, that they reach out to the American Red Cross for any donations that they wish to make. With that, we thank everybody for joining us this afternoon. Thank you.